It's the end of the affair. The Queen has given Harry and Meghan their marching orders. Their public role has ended. They are now no longer working royals, if you would ever call it work, of course. Their honorary military and royal patronages have been returned to the Queen, and they will be redistributed among the other royals. Who knows? Maybe even Prince Andrew will get a couple of scraps. The fairy tale became a horror story. It's very clear that being in the Hollywood A-list and a royal are not compatible, and you and I could have told them that in the first place. The theme since they fell in love all those years ago hasn't really changed, not understanding that with royal responsibilities comes a set of duties, as well as the fame and wealth. Now, before they met, Harry was, I think, next to the Queen, probably the country's most popular royal, a party-loving war hero, just the right side of naughty, and like his mum, obsessed with charitable causes. And he was always bigger box office than his brother William. And of course, it was a tragedy when Harry lost his mother all those years ago, and we watched with such sadness as he followed her hearse on the day of the funeral. And at that point, I think there was cemented in the mind of everybody in this country that this chap is a special guy and he deserves to be happy, which is why we were so pleased when he met when he met Meghan and when they fell in love, and he found a resting place for his heart. The public embraced Meghan Markle immediately. She was perceived as a breath of fresh air and, of course, a very beautiful young woman. And the press salivated at the commercial potential of the new Diana. Meghan was welcomed with open arms by the Queen, who broke royal protocol several times to make her feel part of the family. The red carpet was rolled out for their wedding, as much pomp and ceremony as you could dream of, with a viewing audience of billions. But then, the tiara slipped. The couple began to lecture us about the environment as they jetted around the world on a private jet. Meghan became bored of opening garden centres and hospital wings. She quickly tired of her latest role of princess. And millions spent on Frogmore Cottage were not enough. Yoko Markle decided to split up the royal band, dragging Harry kicking and screaming to Los Angeles. Now, when you become a royal, you enjoy untold wealth and fame, but you kiss goodbye to your freedom. It was ever thus. Now, with her decisive actions today, the Queen has restored freedom to this couple, given it back, but freedom comes at a price. And I'm arguing that the couple should relinquish their official title of Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And the reason why is because it's those sort of traditions that they are rejecting which have opened the door to those multi-million-pound deals with Hollywood. And don't get me started on the Oprah warts and all interview. That is disloyalty in the extreme. It's sad. It's a sad, sad situation. And yes, it's getting more and more absurd. But now this sorry tale is coming to an end. It's been resolved. And it's sad, especially for Harry, who has severed his relationship with a country he loves and severed a relationship with the brother he loves too. He has paid a price. And to me, at times, he looks like a hostage, a turkey to Meghan Markle's Bernard Matthews. But what Meghan wants, Meghan gets. The only way is Sussex, and so be it. Now, Harry, there will always be a role for you in this country and always a way back. The door is never shut. But in the meantime, there is a great kid in the world now, young Archie, and another baby on the way, and that's wonderful news. So all we can do is wish the royal couple, brackets ex-royal couple, every happiness. So Harry and Meghan, good luck, and more importantly, goodbye. But let's get back to our conversation about Harry and Meghan. Should they lose their title of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex? At the moment, 92% say yes, 8% say no. Kelt says, Mark, why should Harry and Meghan hold the title of Duke and Duchess of Sussex when they've walked away from the royal family and the country? It's totally wrong that they represent the monarchy, which they do as long as they have their titles. And Terence, I think with a touch of irony, Says Mark, we down here in Sussex are still coming to terms with losing our Duke and Duchess, but we're coping as best we can under the circumstances. Terence, thank you for that. Let's speak now to Talk Radio's legendary royal commentator, Rupert Bell. Hello, Rupert.
Good afternoon, Mark.
So what's the latest? What has changed?
I think the speed of events has been quite quick, but I think it was the news about the Oprah interview that accelerated Megxit, basically. Yeah. I think the Queen was increasingly frustrated, and the royal palace officials exasperated by the chain of events coming out of America. And I think they wanted to sort of put a line in the sand once and for all and say, you can't be half in, half out. You're basically, this is it. You're now no longer part of the royal family in a working capacity. Yes, you're still part of the family, Harry, but in anything else, no, you now are a private citizen. So that means, well, of course, he can now go and do and free, which is clearly what they wanted in the first place, to do what they want. And that is where they're at now. And I think the Queen just feeling, right, I want to take control. I'm going to take away the royal patronages, and Harry will be upset by that. There's no two ways about it, because the military ones will have meant an awful lot. He's still going to be involved in Victus, but that's very much a private thing of his, and should be, and that's good news. But in terms of his role with the Royal Marines, the RFU, and other organisations, that now is not going to be part of his life. Now, he'll be upset about that, but then let's be honest, he's brought about these decisions. It has been his decision. And I was just thinking about it. If you think it's less than 3 years since they were married, I mean, this has moved at a pace in terms of suddenly being very much fated by all and sundry to now and being cast out as outsiders from this country. Of course, they've got lots of support from other people who certainly back them in their decision and think they have every right to vent their sort of displeasure at the royal family. But those statements were cursed from both sides. There ain't much love between them by the sound of things, looking at those statements, whichever side of the fence you're coming from.
So far from a soft Megxit, this has been a hard Megxit. Who have been the winners, would you say, Rupert?
At the moment, I'm not sure anyone's a winner, and least of all Harry and Meghan. And to some extent, I don't think the Queen will feel like a winner, because this is the last thing she wants. Now, one of the problems she faces, she's got to now dole out a whole lot more royal patronages. But who do you now dole them out to? Can't dole them out to
Prince Andrew? Oh, no.
No. Prince Andrew. He's...
Whoops. Okay.
Not such a good... It's his birthday today,
by the way. What about
the
corgis? Can you honour a corgi?
Well, I think they're scraping the barrel now. So this is the problem, because you can't suddenly give Anne more. I mean, she's the hardest working of the lot. Prince Charles is obviously going to have more sort of responsibility increasingly as the Queen being the age she is. Prince Edward's got a few, but I mean, he works and is very much respected by and Countess of Wessex, and the Queen is very grateful for the support that they're showing, but it's pretty thin on the ground. So this isn't, and William, can you give him more? Suddenly he's now got all Harrys. Well, that would just seem like a real kick in the teeth to Harry. So the Queen's got problems into what she does here. And I think that's the problem. From the moment this happened early last year, this is always going to be the end result, but it's just accelerated quicker than expected. And that's the problem. And Oprah, I don't know whether she's done the interview or not, but clearly, I think the Queen wanted to put a distance between them. So whatever she said, and say, look, you're no longer part of the royal family. You can air your grief. Now it almost becomes like airing your private grievances in public. And, perhaps, that's where people are finding that distasteful.
Well, they're entitled to make a living because they need to pay for the upkeep of their palatial $11 million LA home, and they need to pay for their own security. So obviously they need to earn money. But for me, the Oprah interview, and of course I haven't seen it yet, perhaps it's wrong to prejudge it, but if it's a kind of tell-all interview, then that's disloyalty in the extreme.
This is the problem. I believe the way it's going to be, Meghan's going to go in first and sort of do be asked. I'm told any question is not off limits. But, she's obviously will put her side of the story in a we could hark back to the Diana interview back in the 90s. It will be be her chance to put her side of the story to her very good friend Oprah. If the stories are right, they had only met once before the wedding, but I don't know whether that's true, and that might be just tittle-tattle.
It doesn't take long to become Meghan's bestie. Problem is, it doesn't take long to cease to be her bestie either, Rupert. Quick couple of other things I'd love to ask you about, by the way. So I wonder, being positive, because it's a Friday, Rupert, and you're a positive guy too. You're a half full glass type of man. Perhaps, although it's a very, very sad situation and it's a sorry affair, actually, perhaps keeping the Brexit metaphor going, this is a clean break, and it perhaps defines the roles very clearly now and allows both sides to move on and get on with their lives, both Harry and Meghan and indeed the royal family.
I think that's the point. I think that's what the Queen wants. I can talk, but I'll tell you that my divorce lawyer eons ago said to me, clean break's the best solution.
By the way, your divorce lawyer, the busiest and richest lawyer in England, isn't he?
He did me a good job. No, but
he's a workaholic, that man.
Yeah, but the point is, all those years ago, and the clean break. But that's what it is. This is a divorce for Harry and the royal family. And I think the Queen it's been dragging on. And that's why she said, right, enough's enough. We don't want to be endlessly having reviews. Are you in? Are you out? I'm saying you're out, and it's a fait accompli.
Well, look,
that's what's happening.
Giving up your royal role is one thing. Giving up life with Rupert Bell is just madness. And that whoever it is needs their head examined, Rupert. Quick word, with the clock against us on Prince Philip, who is still in hospital. We understand it's not COVID related, and it's not a serious health situation, but I believe he'll be staying over the weekend. Is that right?
Well into next week, according to the latest statement. Look, he's 99, and clearly, whatever he's got, he's the best places to be monitored in the King Edward VII Hospital. The palace never put out much in terms of details, and quite rightly so. They'll never. But clearly, the doctors will feel the best place for him is in hospital. We won't know the exact nature, but clearly, as a 99-year-old, you're going to be frail, and it will take time to recover from whatever problem he is currently going through. But I know everyone will be wishing him well, and really all these other sideshows going on in the royal family, it's the last thing the Queen really needs to be dealing with when her husband is currently in hospital.
Too right. Rupert, always a treat having you on the show. Rupert Bell, Talk Radio's official royal correspondent.